more callers, but I have a series of questions that I would like to now entertain tonight's guest with. Okay? I'm going to play devil's advocate, of course.
Okay. Here we go.
And we know that this was a epic film about fear and conquering fear or what have you. What I want to know is, how important is fear? Is fear not a catalyst? How necessary is fear? Would we be who we are without fear?
Would we be who we are without fear? Well, I mean, based upon the reality of the now, you know what I'm saying? Fear is definitely something that exists in our reality. And what's being said is that we've been through enough of it. We've been through enough of it so far to get over it. You think of any situation where you're scared. Most of the time when you're scared, it's your mind constantly racing, constantly coming up with like the construct in the Matrix where it's just plain white. And then you just start building this city, you building this reality that doesn't exist because your thoughts are running away. You're like, oh man, this is gonna happen, or that's gonna happen, or if I do this, this is gonna happen. And what you're doing is, between your mind and your DNA and your melanin and all that power you got, you start pulling that negativity towards you. And what's being said in this film is, as opposed to doing that, be aware and alert. Like you said, root yourself in the present moment. What sight, sound, what do you feel? That is tapping into your awareness and the senses, like that smart suit, being aware of the environment around you. And once you're able to assess the situation, then you can move towards actually being productive. It's like, instead of using your energy creating a fearful situation, apply the energy, that extra energy, that surplus of light that you have to create whatever you need to be created to get out of a situation. And I'll give you an example. Cosmo Physics was doing my chart, and he was talking about some stuff that I was going to be dealing with, this year and in the coming years, right? And I kept saying, okay, so what's the best way that I should go around that? What's the best way to circumvent that? And he was like, what you want to circumvent it for? What you trying to go around it for? He was like, face it. He was like, that's what it's about. He was like, the challenge ain't a bad thing. The challenge is to make you stronger. The square is the stress to end up to get you to grow, to do a thing. When you water a seed that's in the ground and it sprouts under extreme pressure. And the amount of power that's needed for that plant to bust through that soil with all those pounds per inch of energy that's pressurized on that plant, it still reaches out to touch that light. So it's like, you need to assess your situation in your current environment, taking all the information, and then apply yourself. Because there's nothing to fear. They always say there's nothing to fear but fear itself. What you got to even fear that for? You know what I'm saying? Like, let that junk go and let's apply. And I'm not saying that happens overnight, but when you find yourself scared of a spider, or scared of a cockroach, or scared of whatever it is, you're scared you're going to lose your job, you're scared you ain't going to pay the rent, as opposed to sitting there thinking of everything that you're scared of, start sitting there and figuring out how you can deal with that situation. You know what I mean? If you can't get the money, okay, what changes can I endure? There are other avenues of money, okay, I could do this, I could do that, I could do the third. It's about using your time wisely, your energy wisely to deal with the situation and not create the Jesus. You know what I mean? Oh, he died for my sins and da-da-da-da-da-da. Like scapegoat thing. And that's what he's saying. He's like, fear is the scapegoat. Let's stop giving fear so much power. I used to wonder that all the time with religious people. They used to be like, I'm a God-fearing man. I'd be like, what do you mean you're a God-fearing man? They don't fear nothing but God. And I'd be like, what you fear God for? Because, I'm like, well, if you don't do that, then he ain't going to do that. So don't do that.
Right.
And if he does do that, then it ain't nothing to be scared of. Just be aware that you messed up. You know what I'm saying? And the offer's coming back around.
Right. That sounds like a child, you know.
It's like logic, man. Be logical, man. Just be logic in your situations. You know, and I can speak for myself. In the situation that I'm in, where I'm trying to do, I can't blame it on nobody. I can't blame it on anybody else but myself. If I want to get up and be a millionaire, then I know the proper steps I need to make to be a millionaire. We all know the steps. But for some reason, because of our day-to-day, we decide to invest our energy and our consciousness in other things. You know what I mean? If we really want to make certain things happen, if we really want to make particular changes take place, we know exactly what we need to do it. But we decide to put our energies in other things. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like on one hand we need money, and then on the other hand we're going to talk about it and say it ain't worth nothing. It's like either we need it or we don't. So we could come to the self-realization that, okay, money is worthless, there's no goal that backs it, da-da-da-da, that's true. But then on the other hand, we got to say, look, but guess what? Right now in 2013, based upon my family and the community and what we need to do, we need bread. So let's work towards getting this fiat together so that we can get to a point where we can actually honestly say money ain't worth nothing because we don't got to use it no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we create fear as an excuse for the lack of owning up to or accountability. Fear is an excuse to escape accountability for a given thing. It's Jesus, man. It's the whole Jesus thing.
Jesus.
Nobody says the Christ. Nobody says the Christ. Everybody says Jesus. What about the Christ, son? Like, he earned that title. Y'all can't say Jesus the Christ, because if you say the Christ, then you're gonna get reminded about what he did and what he sacrificed and what he's on now. And what he on now ain't what you on, and it definitely ain't no damn fear. Come on, man.
Right. There's a pulpit somewhere waiting for you, young man.
Hey, man, in time, brother.
They need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? They definitely need to hear this. You know, and shout out to the young kings, you know what I'm saying, and your baby princess as well.
Oh man, you know it. He got his white belt. He's doing his martial arts thing right now. His boxing, his punches,
conquering fear. That's right.
He getting it in. Aye. You need to see him, man.
No doubt. Red.
Yeah.